here from customer. So I wanted to do a little bit of a refresher video on how to sharpen chains, proper angles, what to look for. In case you guys are unfamiliar with chains, I know a lot of you do not have these grinders up here, but I do want to show you guys the proper angles on there, the placement of the chains, and how to go about getting that perfect 30-degree back on there. So let me show you guys a few things that I've learned along the ways, things that'll make it a lot easier when you guys are out there cutting firewood this fall. So let's jump right into it. First thing is, my stone on this is going to be quarter inch 3/8 picot chain. So I do have a chain right here. These chains are going to be 3/8 picot. How I tell is going to be the size of the tooth there. So this is a 3/8 picot chain. Husqvarna also has a 325 mini. So if you're doing a quarter-inch chain, it's going to be even smaller than that. So it's pretty easy to tell. Once you get something with a lot of meat on it, it's going to be a 325 or a 3/8 or a 404 chain. But for right now, this is what we're working with. I have a couple of these chains, and then we'll jump into doing some 3/8 stuff and then 325 stuff as well. So the first thing that I do is I look for a strap. So colored straps are usually on steel chains. This particular one is really hard to see. You can see it's green right there in the middle. Green is going to be for ones that are safety chains. Safety chains have a second raker. When it opens up just like that, it's got two of them. Yellow chains are only going to have a single raker, which is in front of the cutting tooth. So that is very important to know if you're dealing with a green safety chain. Now, green safety chains are going to reduce the kickback. So when this end is going around the bar tip, it's going to spread open and it's going to reduce that saw chance of kicking back on you when you're doing cutting. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are doing a lot of plunge cutting, probably not going to want to go with the yellow chain, go with the green chain instead. Husqvarna has safety chains as well. So does Oregon. They're not going to have the green strap like steel. Steel's is green and yellow. Husqvarna's will have gold straps where they are bound together. Some of the other brands may even have some different colors and stuff. So just keep an eye on that. They're all a little bit different. So once I locate my strap, we'll go ahead and set the chain up here. This is going to be my stopper on the back. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. Get you guys closer here. So what we're going to do, maybe a little too close there. So this strap right here, the stopper on the back, sits against the cutting tooth. So when I'm pushing force down with my grinding stone, it's not moving that. It's pushing that force against this on the back to leverage it and give it a nice clean pass. So right here on the front, this is going to be my angles. Any of the regular chains are going to be 30 degrees. If you guys are doing ripping chains, they're going to be 10 degrees. If you guys have a carbide tip, a lot of those are going to be 25 degrees. Hexa chains are 25 degrees, but for the most part, you're going to be sticking around 30 degrees. So positive and negative, positives this way, negatives this way. Since I'm doing this angle, we're going to negative 30. And then my other setting right here is going to be negative 15. So when I go to positive, it's going to be positive 30, positive 15. This angle back here is always going to stay the same for the most part on all these chains. That's going to be 40 degrees. If you're shifting over to doing carbide or hexas, you will adjust that on the back. But for your standard chains, quarter inch, 3/8 picot, 3/8 standard, 325, 404, it's going to be set up just like I have it here. So let me go and lock that into place. I'm going to put the wheel down, do some adjustment here until I get it where it's just touching the front of the cutting tooth. Because I don't want to take too much meat off, but it has to be enough where it's making an impact and it's working. So I got it set there. I'm going to go around. Once I hit that green strap, I'm going to turn my adjustments out, hit the other side, and then that chain will be done with the exception of the rakers. I always go through and do all those last. Notice how I've got one clean path. I don't sit there and grind on that tooth a long time, just enough to clean the edge up. So I've made it all the way around there. It doesn't take long on these shorter chains. Once I get to where I need to be, I'm going to change my adjustment, going to positive 30 degrees, taking this, going to positive 15 degrees. I don't need to adjust anything else. Push that in, and now I'm going to leverage this. Sometimes I have to do some minor adjustment, but I'm going to go through, hit all the teeth on that side. What we're trying to do here is clean up the front of the tooth and reestablish a nice point. So I've made it all the way around with that. So if you see here, you can see that cutting tooth, nice and shiny, nice point on there. I know the light's not the greatest. If you look at that one right there. So what you want to see a nice, clean silver metal. You do not want to see it black or discolored. If you have discoloring on there, it's going to mean you heated up the metal, and that is because you're taking too much meat off. So less is more. Just do a little bit each time, and if you have to go around for a second pass to get that point back, go ahead and do it that way instead of just biting down all at once or going up and down with your grinder just like this. I've seen some videos of other repair shops. That is not the proper way to sharpen your chain. So how I showed you is a proper way to do it. So that way you're minimizing the amount of meat you're taking off, you're maximizing the angle, and you're getting it back to a nice sharp point there. So theoretically, you should be able to get at least a dozen times out of a chain if you're doing it right. If you're doing hand files, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be going for that 30-degree angle on there. It's just a matter of how much you need to take off. So usually a couple passes with the file on the chain is going to do it. It just really depends on how rounded that tip is and how much damage you've done to it. So another nice thing about putting them on these machines like this, if there's any burrs on these drive link teeth, they will get stuck as I'm going around. So I'll know right where the burrs are. So that way I can take the chain off, clean them up, and then keep going around there. So let me show you guys what this raker machine looks like. So it actually is the same exact grinder, different angles, and it's got a different wheel on there. So over time, if you notice on this raker, it develops a little notch right in the middle there. That is just from the rakers hitting that, and it's uneven. So I have to take this and dress it up before I start using it. This is my dressing wheel. So I just put that on there, and the dressing stone will clean that edge up, make it nice and flat. And then when I'm going ahead and hitting the rakers, it leaves a nice level surface on top. So let me show you. So that's all I have to do with that. I'm going to adjust, make sure I'm hitting my rakers. One nice clean tap is all it takes. You don't need to grind on it. Don't take too much off. And we just keep going around until we look for that strap again. Rakers take a little bit longer because you got twice as many as you do cutting teeth on a side. And that would be every single raker. So you're just going around looking for that nice shiny bit there, just to let you know you hit it. So right there, you can see it's nice and clean. That is all we're going for on that. So that chain is complete. So not super hard to do chains. As far as the rakers go, you can have a raker gauge. Basically what you're trying to do is when you take your cutting tooth down, you need to take your raker down the same amount. So that way you're maintaining that chip depth. So if you start taking your raker down too much, you're going to have too big of a depth. It's going to bite really hard into your wood. You do not want that. If you start going the other way where you don't take your raker down, but you keep taking your cutting tooth down, it's going to get smaller. The raker is going to sit higher. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up having a cutting tooth that's nice and sharp the way it should be. Rakers are too high, it's going to deflect, it's not going to cut. So you want that perfect balance just the way it's supposed to be. And then with your raker tool, you can see how much it's off. So if you have your cutting tooth right here and your rakers and it's sticking up above that measuring tool right there, you know you need to take it down until it gets to the right spot. So those are readily available. You can buy them on Amazon. I should have a link in the video. I will drop it down below in the description. It's going to have my Amazon store. I do have file guides in there. I do have different filing equipment, so make sure you guys check that out as well. So that is pretty much all I've got for right now in this video. I got lots of other chain sharpening videos. I do a ton of chains here in the shop, especially this time of year. I've got people bringing in handfuls of chains at a time. I've got probably 20 chains somebody just dropped off. So lots of stuff to do. Takes a little bit of time, but it is fun nonetheless. So I hope you guys are having a good fall. I hope you guys are getting ready for winter. And if you guys are cutting wood for your wood burning stoves, have fun. Hopefully this video is a little bit helpful to you. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them below down in the comment section. I will try my best to answer them for you. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate that. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.